What's going on, my Pro Force? You're chilling with Bookson, and we're here today to go over the newest Tempest Trial map. Now, specifically, we're going to be talking about the final map, because that's always the one that's not going to change. Sure, there are always going to be, I've noticed that there are set maps throughout the trial map, but they can be pretty much as random as possible. I'm sure there are some little hints and details as to what can go where, but for now, I'm going to focus on the last map, because that's what seems to be the biggest focal point of this trial. So for this map, I've just on screen right now, I've got 10 separate screenshots side by side of different maps, and I just wanted to show you the similarities. If you notice that the very most left unit is always going to be a ranged unit. It can be a mage, it can be an archer, it can be a, I don't want to say ninja, but dagger user. So, keep in mind that for that left side, you're going to need something for some kind of ranged unit. I usually have my Hector go in and try and take the hit. However, when it comes to red units, thankfully, that unit, where it's positioned, can't reach where Celica is, or where I can say where Celica can attack. For the left top part of the defensive grid, because you see there's that 4x4 grid in the center of the map of defensive tiles. In the top left of that is where that most left ranged unit can hit. But at the top right is where Celica can hit, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit, but I want to go over the other characters, or other units on the map first. Directly to the right of that ranged unit is going to be a red infantry unit. Now, it's not always going to be a sword user, but it's going to be red. I noticed this from just the multitude of maps I've done. It's always red, and it's going to be either a sword user or a Dragonstone user. I have not seen any kind of red mage in that spot yet, but if you guys have, let me know. I would gladly update it. So, as far as you're concerned, there's only one target for that upper leftmost part of that defensive tile grid. So you don't have to worry about any kind of ganging up if you place someone there to lure out the top left ranged unit. Now, for the right side of the map, at the top of the map, on the right side, is going to be another ranged unit that's going to be directly behind Celica. But thankfully, that one cannot reach the defensive grid that is your 4x4 defensive tiles. So you can feel free to place someone in the range of Celica without having to worry about getting ganged up by the one unit behind it. Now, I've noticed that unit can be any ranged unit. Bow user, knife user, spells, tomes, anything that's ranged can be there. Any color, colorless, doesn't matter. And the unit right next to Celica is always going to be a cavalry unit. Thankfully, there are no cavalry bow users in the game yet, so you don't have to worry about it trying to gang up on whatever Celica's targeting. But just know that it will always be a cavalry unit. It will change lance, axe, sword. It can be any of those. But as far as I know, I haven't seen one that's also a tome user. If you guys have, then that'll be a first for me. But I haven't seen one like a Leo or an Ursula. I haven't seen that yet. As far as I know, it's always been a melee cavalry unit. And finally, let's go over Celica herself. Celica is a badass with her inflated stats. She's got 53 attack, 38 speed, which with Ragnarok, let's face it, that's actually 58 attack and 43 speed, as long as she's at full, with 27 defense and 28 res. And if you're attacking her at a range, then that's boosted to 33 defense and 34 res. So, the main way to take down Celica in this map is to lure her to that top right defensive grid with a blue unit that can counter. That is the best possible way I've come up with to take care of her. For my experience, I use a Reinhardt with Red Tomebreaker. Yes, I get doubled by Celica, but I have the bulk and, thanks to the defensive tiles, the boosts enough to take her hits. And because I've got red Tonebreaker, she's only going to hit me once instead of twice. But the best part about it is because normally I'm slow, but because of that red Tonebreaker, I'm going to be able to double her. And with Quicken Pulse, even if I'm at the very, what is the word I'm looking for? Even if I'm at my very lowest recharge amount, which I think is 2 when I start the map, if she attacks me, I'm going to attack back twice, which is going to reduce that counter to get my activation off, which is, for me, Draconic Aura. So, keep in mind, the most important thing in this map is to get that Celica out of the way early, and then the rest of the units should be no problem, depending on your team build. For my team build, I've got Hector and Olivia to take care of the green units and green units for Olivia and the mages that normally Reinhardt has a problem with. And the final slot is your boosting character. For mine, I've got Faye with Ardent Sacrifice and is it Ardent Sacrifice? Yeah, it is. I think so. With Renewal, so that way she can just go around healing people. But I hope you all enjoyed that video. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. I will try and answer them to the best of my ability. If you have any suggestions or anything else that you've noticed I didn't cover in this video, please feel free to leave it in the comments. And I will see you all next time. Bye.